You have to learn to be grateful for every moment you're given. Every single one. I've told my story a bunch of times. I don't know if I've ever told as bad as it gets, but that would take all day. As bad as it got, I mean. But the way that my life was transformed just from misery and grief and pain and depression to a life where I'm thankful for every single moment. I try to find the beauty in every single thing. And this goes for every type of person. Obviously, not everybody is in pain like me all the time from a disability or just so down on their luck that it's just rock bottom. And hopefully not all of you have to get there to get woken up like I did. God had to show me how bad it really could get. But I really do think it's a test. And I really do think that we are put in these situations for a reason. I think of the Apostle Paul in the Bible. He used to help capture, torture, and kill Christians, and the early Christians, before there was a church or anything, the early worshipers of Christ. And on his road to Damascus, Jesus came to him in spirit form, and he blinded him. And he said, when you persecute these Christians, you are persecuting me. And that was his spiritual awakening. That was his enlightenment moment, or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. The names are so interchangeable. It doesn't have any meaning. What matters is that is when God spoke to him, and he heard God clearly for the first time when Jesus came to him. That is what it's all about, getting to that moment. And why did he pick somebody who tortured and helped kill Christians to be the founder of the church and spread his gospel and spread his light? Why did he pick Paul and not just one of the disciples? Well, I happen to think that we are in this life for training. We are here. Every single thing that happens to us happens for a specific reason. Since I was, all the weaknesses and all the faults I had in life, I was the fat kid. I had to learn to lose the weight to get girls, and I was always socially anxious, so I had to learn to be funny to overcome my social anxiety. And then I had the disability, and then I had to really figure out how to overcome basically what I figured was just going to be wasting away for life, and actually find some beauty and meaning in it. And I never knew that was going to happen. I really didn't. I thought, hey, maybe it's time for me to start writing. And I did start writing, and I wrote a lot. And then I realized the writing, while I still enjoyed the story I was writing, it wasn't inspired. After my road to Damascus moment, where God came to me, and he came to me just over around this corner here in the lake. After that, I write sometimes 3, 4, 5 hours a night. I sit up writing, and it just spills out of me, so inspired. And I never in my life would have thought that I was going to be making videos and putting them on YouTube and actually have people actually see them. That's not me. I'm not a good speaker. I hate the sound of my own voice. I've always have. I'm not a good-looking guy. All these things would have just been like, hell no, I'm not doing that. Maybe you could have talked me into doing like a comedy podcast or something before, but even then, I would have been just so awkward. It just would have been cringe. But now I can sit here and Yeah, I'll lose my train of thought at times, but for the most part, I sit here and I just sort out this wisdom that God has given me and sort out these situations, and I try to help everyone see that you can find this beauty in life. And look at this beautiful world around me. Look at the beautiful world around you. Everywhere you go, you can find some place in nature. Even if you're stuck in a city, go to the park. Get as far away from people as you can for just a little while. Get that solitude. If you don't have solitude, you're not going to probably be able to hear. It's going to be too much noise to hear God's messages to you. So why did Jesus pick the Apostle Paul to start the church? What happened in his life that made him suitable for that job? Well, the biggest thing is credibility. He was working with the Romans, I believe, and like I said, he was capturing and torturing and killing Christians and helping to do that at least. And if he sees the light and sees Jesus came to him and he's saying, whoa, I was wrong, forgive me. Look at Jesus came to me finally, and now I see the light. Wow, that is powerful. Do you see how powerful that is? And do you see how powerful me having all these faults and then having this disability and just being miserable for years of my life, and then bam, in an instant, in the course of an afternoon and just under an hour, I went from being horribly miserable to just so at peace. I mean, I've never felt this kind of peace before. I know and Good Friday is coming up and Easter Sunday, and I am a Christian, and I will never ever deny that. And I really do think that the miracles that God gives us in life are something that we have to stop and look at. And we have to stop and look at our lives and say, hey, our ego might be telling us that we're not good enough, that we're not worthy, that we can't do something. But maybe start thinking a little bit more like, I believe his name is Dr. Bruce Grayson, and he's studied near-death experiences almost his whole life for 50 years now. And he explained that most of the people who had near-death experiences, they come out not fearing death. And so he asked, well, why don't you just, if you saw so much amazing thing in the afterlife and you're not afraid of death anymore, then why not just kill yourself and get back there right now? Because they all said that, not all of them, but a lot of them said that they were so peaceful there, and they were so just at one with everything, and just understood so many things that they never even realized were possible. So why not just end your life and just go right back there if you already know that that's what's going on after you die? They said, at least one person said to him, you don't understand. We don't fear death, but we no longer fear life either. And I think that's the most powerful thing to take from a lot of those near-death experiences and spiritual awakenings and all that. That's what happened to me. I no longer fear death because I know in my heart and my soul and every fiber of my being that there is a God, there is an afterlife, and there is a meaning and purpose to our lives. Now, obviously, that's something that I cannot prove. I can kind of give circumstantial evidence, I guess, and I can tell my story, and you can believe me or not, but I no longer fear death, and I no longer fear life. And it took me so long. It took me 42 years to get to that point, and then bam, God changed it in an instant. In an instant. And it was the most beautiful thing that's ever happened to me. And the most transcending thing, the most profound thing, I cannot even explain to you. I thought I knew what love was before God came to me. I didn't have a clue. I loved my girls with all my heart and every fiber of my being, and I obviously still do. I mean, but now I understand what love really is, and I understand that we have to love everyone, even, as Jesus said, even our enemies. And that is something we don't have to like our enemies. We don't have to like the people who are actively just so pissed and just destroying the world and just trying to corruption and power and all that stuff that they're so caught up in. We don't have to like those people. But for me, as a Christian, and from what God showed me, we have to have love for all those people. Because while there are truly evil people out there, most of them are just people who are lost, maybe like the Apostle Paul. I mean, man, I'm pretty sure if you were a Christian back in the day and you saw him before his road to Damascus moment, you wouldn't have liked him one bit. In fact, you probably would have thought he's one of the worst people imaginable, but that's what I'm saying. God can redeem even the worst people. And we don't even have to like them even after God redeems them. We don't have to trust them. I say don't trust in any man. Only trust in God, and then God will, through God, you can trust others. Because doing that, let's say you trust a person and they screw you over. And you are just like, oh, I lost my trust in you. It just affects you so much. But having that trust be filtered through God and trusting that God knows what he's doing, even if they screw you over, hey, look, I learned from that experience. I'm not going to let them do it again. Obviously, I'm not going to be a moron and let them just keep on, hurting me in some way. But it doesn't really hurt you anymore because you are free now. You put the trust that it was filtered through God, and no matter what happens, you're okay with it because you live in the present. That is one thing that God taught me too, just to live in the present, not in a hedonistic type of way, not in I'm going to go do all the drugs and I'm going to sleep with every person I see and I'm going to just have a party all the time. No, not in that way. You have to be able to see the wisdom, and you have to see the beauty, and you have to just soak that in, and you have to carry that peace and that calmness that you get from those moments of seeing that beauty to all the times that you or someone else desperately need them. Someone, a parent or whoever, your family member goes to get rushed to the hospital, and before I would have been freaking out, sitting, waiting by the phone, my heart pounding. Oh no, I feel sick. You have to let that beauty and that calmness guide you through those moments like that. I know you're scared of so many things in life. This life is so strange, and we are just our brains are so small to be able to comprehend it. But we are not our physical bodies. We are not our brains. Our brain is just a receiver. This body is just like an avatar for our soul. Our true purpose here is what we're looking for, is what we're searching for. That is what really matters, is our purpose here. Once we find that and we have all the experiences that we need, maybe we move on to, I have no idea, maybe we move on to another life. Maybe we are a spiritual guide in spirit form for someone else after we die. Like I feel, my pap is for me, or was for a long time. maybe we don't know. We don't know what's happening. Maybe our souls are all one. Maybe it's all just one big extension of God, each one of us. That's what I truly believe, that anything is possible. And I love thinking about it, but that is not the most important thing. The most important thing is finding your purpose right here, right now. And only God can show you that. You can find it a little bit on your own, and only God can show you for real. All right, I hope everybody has a great Easter weekend. God bless.